Molly, thanks for sitting down with me today. I appreciate your time.
Sure.
Molly, I think this is the first time we've had an opportunity to sit down and do an interview. Can you tell me a little bit about yourself?
Sure. And thank you very much for this opportunity. I am the Associate Science Officer for Advanced Biological Marketing. We opened our R&D facility in the beginning of 2014, and I was brought on board shortly before that, actually, to help support our existing products and develop new products through our pipeline. My background, I have a PhD in plant breeding and genetics from Cornell University and a master's in plant pathology from Washington State, and so I've been working for many years at that interface between the plant, the crop plant, and the microbial world, and so that's what I continue to do at ABM.
Nice. We know that biologicals are an ever-growing, well, they're certainly an ever-growing topic. We've seen it here this week.
Right.
I think we've seen an ever-growing importance placed on them by farmers. Mm-hmm. Some numbers projected to be $560 million industry by 2019. It's not going away, and it is growing in significance, and I think a large part of that is because of an increased understanding. Mm-hmm. That fair, yeah?
Yeah, I think so.
What's driving this trend? What's driving this desire to better understand?
Yeah, I think that's a complicated issue, right? There are a lot of things going on. One is more awareness. Those of us who've been working in the field for a while, and I know I'm a relative newcomer, but ABM has been around since 2000, and the first trichoderma for biological control and growth promotion was released in the 80s, right? So these products have been around for a while, and those of us who are in the industry are doing our best to convey information and educate farmers and seed dealers. But the other thing that's happening is that while this has been almost a grassroots kind of rise of biologicals, now some really big players are getting into the picture. Right, they're buying up smaller companies and throwing a lot more marketing dollars at it, and so I think the combination of this grassroots growing awareness of biologicals, in addition to some large companies putting money into both product development and marketing, is really causing the rise of biologicals right now.
Which amplifies that piece. Yeah,
sure.
For sure.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. With attention, with awareness, it means that we're going to have more players in the game, more people playing in the sandbox, so to speak. Mm-hmm. And yes, the sandbox is getting bigger. Yeah. What makes ABM, what keeps you in your competitive edge?
Yeah, there are a lot of things. Our Chief Science Officer is Dr. Gary Harmon, who couldn't be here today, but he has been working with trichoderma in the area of biologicals for 40 plus years. That was his career, and so when he retired from Cornell, he became our Chief Science Officer. And so we have one of our edges is a feel for the organism, right? Of deep knowledge, deep scientific understanding of trichoderma specifically and biologicals in general. ABM has committed to R&D. We are doing basic research, and we're doing applied research, and there are so many questions still to be answered about biologicals, and these are the things that we're working on to answer these questions and incorporate these into our new product development, into our pipeline. So how this gives us an edge? Well, we are a small company, and we're full of independent, free thinkers who have a great deal of expertise in this area, and so I think that gives us the ability to be nimble in this field and be responsive to what the growers want and the problems that the growers see with how biologicals are used, and just allow us to be very flexible and smart.
Right. I love to hear people talk passionately about their work, and it certainly comes across in your explanation. I appreciate that. I got to believe one of the pieces in your job is to look for next generation products. What's going to change the space? What's going to be the next key move? And so my question for you should be is not a simple one. I get it.
Yeah.
What's next?
Yeah. The thing about biologicals is they're biological. We're not working with chemistry here, and I think that's one of the biggest challenges of biologicals, right, is to incorporate them into agriculture that's used to working. The only biology that's been in play has been the seed, right? And then we're able to apply chemistry to that, and now we want to apply biologicals to it and have them survive and thrive and obviously do their best. And so to me, this is one avenue for real improvement is formulations, right? Getting that biology on the seed, protected from whatever chemistry is on the seed, or in furrow, or applied in a foliar way. Having these organisms out there in a resistant way, this is one major way for advancement. The other route that we're really investigating in Geneva, New York, where I'm located, is the genetics of the organisms. We're essentially have a small breeding program, right? We are developing new biologicals, and we are basing our new product development on the genetics of those microorganisms, with an eye to the genetics of the crop and the rest of the environment. So what's very exciting for me is the big data nature of what we're doing, right? And we're able to capture that with the resources we have in our R&D facility, as well as the resources we're able to leverage by our collaborations or our cooperation with Cornell University. Yeah.
Right. I think that correct me if I'm wrong here, but the validity, the credibility of biologicals in the beginning was certainly questioned. It was because people didn't understand it.
That's right.
Now I think credibility is established. We've seen the proof has been in the pudding, so to speak.
Yes.
What other challenges do you see to get that message out to a larger audience? We've talked about that it's growing. Mm-hmm. What challenges or hurdles do you see that we need to get over to maybe take it to the next level?
Yeah, well, I think that the ever-present challenge is education, right? Every time we go talk to a seed dealer or a farmer, you need to educate them. I have to say, biology is a hot topic with the public in general, right? With the presence of GMOs, and so when you talk to people about working with agricultural genetics or biologicals, their minds go straight away to these hot topics like GMOs. Mm-hmm. And so you kind of need to redirect that energy and explain and educate further that no, we're putting a microbe on the seed or in the soil that belongs there and that has evolved over thousands of years with that seed to do a job, right? And that is to help the plant thrive and help the microbe thrive. Right. And so educating the public about what we're doing, that continues to be a challenge. I think the other challenge, and I kind of alluded to this earlier when I was talking about formulations, is the use of biologicals, the proper use of biologicals, so that they can get into this kind of industrial process and survive, right? And that comes back to formulations, and it also comes back to training the people who are actually handling the biologicals in the seed treatment plant, for example, or when you get to storing them, and keeping in mind that these are not chemicals, that they need to be, that they're living organisms.
Right, yeah. Right. We continue to hear that everyone is trying to get as close to the seed as they can, mm-hmm. but yet we all know that there's only so much we can put on that seed.
Right.
Can you talk a little bit about how ABM is addressing in-furrow or foliar applications mm-hmm. for products? Yeah,
well, I have to say, the number one thing we do is that our application rates are exceptionally low. For corn, we're applying 0.16 ounces per acre with our liquid product, so very low application rate. But we do also have in-furrow products, and we are developing foliar products, some of our pipeline products, and actually one that will be released in the next 18 months has a foliar application. So yes, we keep all these things in mind because our closest contacts are the farmers. We really try to understand what they're doing and what their problems are. And so all of our formulations, we give application rates for not just the seed treatment, but also the in-furrow and coming online, the foliar.
Right. ABM's got a very large product range, all kinds of crops, not just corn and beans, alfalfa, clover, peanuts.
Right.
Geographically diverse from Africa to Asia to North America.
Right.
What gets you excited the most?
Oh boy. Well, I'm a scientist, and so I am excited about the basic biology that allows one organism to do all these diverse things and work in all these diverse environments. And just to explain a little bit about this, what trichoderma is our trichoderma strains anyway, are growing in the rhizosphere of the plant and actually inside the plant cells. And so it's causing change from within. And how it's doing this is by upregulation of many different genes. So in essence, what the trichoderma is allowing the plant to do is be the best version of that plant that it can be, doing the most with its own genetics. And this is something, as I mentioned, that has co-evolved in nature, and I'm not pushing for all biologicals all the time, right? I know we do need some chemistry, but we need to keep an eye on the fact that some of this chemistry is destroying the natural environment around the seed, and that's what ABM is doing, is putting some of that biology back to do what it's supposed to be doing, and that's what's really exciting.
And as a scientist, it can't be any better than that.
This is where I want to be. I am so excited to be doing what I am right now.
Right.
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Molly, thanks very much.
Oh, sure. You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, my pleasure.